Now, we've got Adam Gregory, one of the directors behind Bloodstock Festival on the line, talking about the festival that is coming up in 30 days' time, is it? I think.
Yes, about that, roughly about 4 weeks tomorrow, I think we open the gates. So yeah.
And I'm just looking at the history of Bloodstock, and it's next year will be 20 years of Bloodstock open air, because I think it
Oh,
existed before then, didn't it? So,
that's right. Yeah, I mean this is the 24th edition, if you like, or actually it's probably the 25th because we did one year, we did two, an open air and an indoor. But yeah, from outside, I think we went outside in 2005. So yeah, 20 years as an open air next year.
and does that surprise you then that the festival has, well, I suppose that landmark you're coming up for?
I think it's encouraging. I think it's great for independence, if you like, as well. I suppose that we're able to sort of stand the test of time to a degree, and that's in testimony more to the fans than it is to probably anybody else, because it's the fan vote that keeps us all going, as we know. And it's very humbling for us, and we've got nothing but complete gratitude for everybody that supports, whether it be a band, a venue, a fan, and all the people that work alongside us on the site itself. So, it's great that we're still here 20 years or 25 years, however you look at it, from when we first started. That's it's something something quite special.
Yes, because I mean, festivals pop up and not all survive, and especially post-COVID. I mean, COVID obviously did for a lot of events. I mean, what is the festival market like now post-COVID, I suppose? Has it recovered? Was there a danger that Bloodstock would just never come back? Because a lot of festivals didn't.
Yeah, I mean, we were fortunate. We only sort of suffered 1 year out through COVID, which was 2020, and we were able to come back in 21. I think by literally a week and a half, 2 weeks notice, we were told we could go ahead. It was that close to not happening. But it's not just COVID; it's Brexit had a big part to play as well in the festival sector, the entertainment sector in the UK, because we lost a tremendous amount of skilled workers during that time. And COVID was a double impact because people had to go off and get other jobs that when our sector closed, with no sort of guarantee of when it was coming back, people still needed bills to pay. So they went off and got jobs that were 9 to 5, and probably not as exciting as the music industry, but certainly more stable at that time. So that's just taking an age to recover, and I think every festival's suffering the same. Every live event's suffering the same. It's certainly much better. It's a lot better than it was, but I don't think we're anywhere near where we were pre-Brexit, pre-COVID. It was a double whammy time I think, for the entertainment industry. So we're getting there. I think that's the question mark, and I think it's testament to the fact that we're still here. But if you look at the sector generally, this year, the AIF, which we're part of, which is the Association of Independent Festivals, they've already reported in 2024 over 50 cancellations so far. So the industry isn't in the best of shape, and there's a lot of factors surrounding that.
In the dark storm, driven cold of night, we hear the wolves cry at my chamber door, the path forevermore. From the dawn of time.
I mean, my assumption is that when I turn up to a festival, I'm going to start to feel old at some stage, because the assumption was if you're in your 20s, you go to festivals. But then I think that the problem was 20 years ago, we were, and then 20 years later, you're still going. And I'm always surprised by the fact that, glamping pods, which tends to increase hugely the cost of your festival, but they're all there because actually it's not all 20-year-olds, it's 40, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds with disposable incomes, and they don't want to sleep in a tent anymore. And are you surprised, or have you found the demographic has changed and expanded so much so that you get whole families there now, don't you?
It's weird with rock and metal, that festival genre of age demographic is a very, very broad spectrum. I guess when you compare it to, whether it be a pop festival or something more sort of radio friendly, if you like, you do tend to have a much younger audience. Whereas with rock and metal, it's a good variation from, young to, older people like myself and older and whatever. And that's purely down to the fact that I think metal and rock can stand the test of time, and people like Ozzy, people like Maiden, people like AC/DC, and they're still getting new fans now because people are still discovering them. I think from parents listening to it or radio play or still doing festival circuits and touring. To me, I think that's fantastic. But it's maintaining that level that we can continue nurturing those fans and nurturing that fan base moving forward, as well as bands start to think, you know what, I'm going to retire now, I'm going to hang my mic up, whatever it will be. We've got to find those new big bands that are coming through. So there's still a lot of work to do. But yeah, I think for certainly for Bloodstock, it's great to see such a wide variation in that demographic, and it's lovely to see when people turn up with the kids and they've got the headphones on and the sort of Defenders and whatnot, but they're getting into a sort of a culture of music that is probably one of the best, I think, to get into because it's so friendly and so welcoming.
I think Bloodstock was one of these festivals I probably missed out on a little bit because I tend to feel like if the name of the band is so italicized I can't read it, then I'm probably not going to like it. But I think we turned up in, and I was looking, 2010, was it Twisted Sister were playing? And we turned up and we thought, this is a really nice sized festival and it's just got a really nice vibe. And, but I was quite surprised by I would say to people, it doesn't matter if you're not into heavy metal music, go along to Bloodstock because it's just a really nice vibe and you can chill out and you can go shopping and you can wander from stage to stage and I think that's a testament perhaps to your success in that.
A lot of people do say that, and it's great, and that's the kind of thing we want to happen. We want to deliver a show that ultimately we would want to go to. And when you go to a show, you go to a festival, and certainly if it's one that you've not been to before, it can possibly seem on face value without actually experiencing it quite intimidating. And I think a lot of big shows, big festivals can be because people don't know what to expect. And it's not until people have, as you said, been and they've experienced the show that you can kind of see that it isn't what you expect, and it is very warm and friendly, and the fan base is super welcoming. We've seen people turning up in, chinos and white t-shirts or pink t-shirt or pink shirts, whatever it would be, that completely look out of place in a metal crowd, but have probably the best time they've had in decades of going anywhere or doing anything, based on the feeling that the fans give, as well as the music. For me, the music is a big part because it's real. You're listening to something that bands aren't using auto-tune or recorded music or anything else. They're playing raw. You're hearing what they're playing. You're hearing what they're speaking or singing. And I think that's rare in modern society. People are digitally enhancing everything, and it's not real music. Whereas I think rock and metal tends to be far more raw than that. Out of the caverns, unto the moon. Calls and passes we process toward the pinnacle. From subterranean to summit stone. Now we pilgrims ascend, we climb toward the mountain throne.
So tell us about this year's festival. So Opeth, Architects and the Monomath headlining. What can we expect, for Bloodstock 2024 then?
Well, I've seen some of the production for some of these bands, and one of them certainly has got something very special that the fans are going to go, wow, because when we saw the drawings, it was like, crikey, that's going to look impressive. So there's a lot there. We've got obviously 120 plus bands across 4 stages, from the new blood discovering something brand new right the way through to the established acts that are out there. And on top of that, we're also announcing a host of bands for 2025.
Okay.
Including all the headliners for both Ronnie James Dio stage and the Sophie stage. So, there's a lot to be going at, to be fair.
number of things also going on apart from the music. I saw bin jousting, which I think was something you tried to stop. And if you can't beat them, join them. Tell us about bin jousting.
Yeah, well, the bin jousting obviously was the fan sport they developed as much as we tried to stop it, because it was people get hurt. It's the last thing we want. And we've tied bins up, we've taken bins out, we've taken the wheels off, we've chained them up, and they still managed to break them free, set them free, whatever it is, and utilize them. So we just thought, well, this thing is happening every year. If it's going to happen, let's try and make it as safe as possible. So we're putting in some rules, we're putting in some safety measures, we're having some special bins designed that are sort of more user friendly. We don't want to suck the enjoyment and the fun away from what was raw entertainment for them, but we just need to mitigate the risk for the fans as much as we can do. So yeah, that'll be happening in the Battle Arena in Midgard campsite across the weekend from, I think, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, along with loads of other activity we've got. And then obviously we've got all the Lemmy tribute that's happening this year as well.
Lemmy seems to be getting around more these days than he did in the past. Yeah. I think I was speaking to, I would have been Dora Pesher at Bloodstock a few years ago, who said she had some of Lemmy's ashes and a bullet sent to her as they were friends. Yeah. And I know this year you're planning on you're enshrining some of his ashes in a statue, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right. Management is a special one for us because Alan Hungerford, who obviously is married to my sister Vicky, Alan was Lemmy's PA for many years, sort of globally, and had a very, very good friendship, with Lemmy, and Lemmy very much considered them, both him and Vicky, family, which was fantastic. Vicky and Alan used to spend a lot of time, with Lemmy, or to go to see him in LA or whatever else it was. So, that was lovely. And we were approached by management last year saying, look, they want somewhere in the UK that can sort of hold ceremony to Lemmy, if you like, sort of each year. Would Bloodstock, with the relationship he had with Alan and Vicky, would we be up for the task of the challenge? And we absolutely jumped at it, because why would you not? Celebrate somebody of such a talent. So they said they would give us some of Lemmy's ashes, which will come in a lovely pyramid with a sort of copy of Lemmy's hat on top. And then we thought, well, to sort of emboss that, why don't we have a bust commissioned? So we've got an artist that's doing a metal bust for us of Lemmy, and that'll be on display in the gallery. And in the chest plate, you'll see that urn with Lemmy's ashes that are encased within that as well. So it'll be something quite unique, quite different. And then on top of that, we've got the bomber from the stage show that's going to be there with all the lights on the wings and everything. The Lemmy, sort of the Motorhead siren that they used to use, that will open the festival and close the festival this year. Phil Campbell's going to be there with management. And we've also got a recreation of Lemmy's dressing room in the gallery this year. And that's obviously where the bust will be as well. So we've been sent a lot of personal items of Lemmy's and Motorheads that'll go in there. So it's something that isn't going to be seen every year, and I think it's something quite special that I think you've got to be there really to sort of be part of that and take that in.
The pleasure is to blame. Ain't no difference what you say. I don't say green. The only card I need is the ace of spades. The ace of spades. Playing for the high road, dancing with the devil, going with the flow. It's all a game to me.
When that's not there, that's heading off to a museum in on display? Is it when not at the festival?
No, it's going to Rock City in Nottingham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lemmy used to play there often as well. It was a venue we enjoyed.
Yeah.
So Rock City, to be fair to them, it's going to be in the foyer as you go in, and they've actually built a nice case that's encased with sort of tough and safety glass that just basically means the bust will sit within there throughout the year, and then it will return to Bloodstock every year for Pride of Place with us. So yeah, it's nice to partner with a good venue that synonymous with Motorhead over the years as well.
Ain't a hope in hell, nothing gonna bring us down. The way we fly, 5 miles off the ground. Because
And that's one of your themes for this year, isn't it? I mean, I either come dressed as your favourite horror character, something to Motorhead, or a dinosaur. It seems slightly
The
varied.
dinosaur one, yeah. I mean, the dinosaur one came out of the blue. I think we were on a Facebook Live a few months ago, and somebody started talking about dinosaurs, and then Vicky just loved the idea of doing a dinosaur fancy dress. So I think we're sort of trying to get as many people doing a mosh pit dressed as dinosaurs as we can, which would be fun. We've got horror theme, so we've now decided that we're going to do Thursday, obviously in support of Sophie Lancaster and Sylvia, is dress pink. If you want to dress pink, that's great. Friday will be Lemmy Day, Motorhead Day. So wear anything Motorhead, or dress up as your favourite Motorhead band member if you so look the part. Saturday's Dino Day, and then Sunday is the Horror Day. That's the themes we're now decided on. So yeah, people can just have a bit of fun with it, and it's nice to be part of something a bit different, isn't it?
Yes. I think my daughter is particularly looking forward to coming along, as she does every year. But she does have an inflatable dinosaur T-Rex, so we'll be bringing that. Why wouldn't you?
Oh, excellent, and that's exactly what we want to see. That'll keep Vicky very, very happy. Many of those sort of dog jumping around. I even thought of buying one myself actually, but I think I might be a bit too busy, unfortunately.
We're just a bunch of broken animals, but we're afraid of the outcome. Don't cry to me because the fiction that we're living in says I should pull the pin.
You mentioned the gallery. I mean, the gallery is one of the things I think is fascinating at Bloodstock, because you can go in there and you can look at the posters from previous years. You can look at guitars from bands, or guitar artwork. There's been a massive skull throne I think I've sat on in the past, and things like that. It helps make Bloodstock stand out, I think. And is that so? And so this time, a large part of that is going to be given over to the Motorhead.
What we've done, we've actually extended the gallery slightly.
Okay.
So it's slightly bigger, so we're not going to lose any impact of what was in the gallery. The artwork from the previous years, again, they're not posters, they're the original artwork pieces that were painted. So they're all painted, they're not graphically designed on a computer or anything else like that. Mm-hmm. This is all original artwork. And they've all been, over the years, from the very early years, signed by the bands that played the festival as well. And that continues to be the sort of theme behind what happens. And Paul, a dad who's an artist by heart and by trade anyway, that's what he does. He's done album covers for many bands over the years. I think about 17 now for Saxon. I think over the years he's done something like that. He's very keen to sort of support up and coming artists as well. So he likes to vary it with different pieces from different artists that sort of want an opportunity to showcase their work. I think it's important that we sort of maintain that feel of supporting other artists.
And you said about you'll be making announcements, as you do every year, for next year coming up. Presumably, then the festival never stops, so your job never stops then, because presumably no sooner does 1 year finish than you're leaping into the next year, right?
Well, we're already working on 25. As obviously the fact we've got certain bands, but there's the infrastructure side of it that myself and Rachel tend to work a lot on, that we're sort of working with that now. Simon's programming Metal to the Masses for 25 already, now that the 24 season closes this weekend coming actually at Coventry. So that's very, very busy, and Vicky's even had a few conversations with bands for 26, believe it or not, already. So it is forever evolving, and you're forever working on something. And I think people have seen Wayne's World, we've all watched that, and it's fill in the 1,000 pieces of paper for the license, and book the bands and they will come, but there's a little bit more to it than that. But it's but ultimately the fans don't necessarily need to sort of worry too much about that. That's our job to worry about that. They just want to worry about coming to the show and just having a great weekend.
And tickets still available?
Yeah, tickets are available currently. I mean, we are sort of targeted for, or on target for a sellout this year, which is good. And we're on track for that. So I'm no doubt they will sell out before the show. But yeah, at the moment they're still available on the website. You know, crack along and get those, whether you want a weekend or day. VIP, obviously, camper vans and etc. They've all sold out, and they sell out within moments of going on sale. So they're always get snapped up quite quickly. But yeah, you know, if you want to be there, where else are you going to do?